Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. I was just talking to Al Don in the comments of the English don't like England anymore video, and he said, "Am I living in the past?" sort of thing, being a bit older than me, and it's like everybody says the good old days, don't they? Because it seems to be that the good old days, well, the old days were the good days. No matter how old you are, it just seemed to be better in the past. And when we were talking, I mentioned to him that I remember when COVID was on, and the Economic Forum coming out and saying by 2030 you will own nothing and be happy, which is what I've typed in up here on Google, and it comes up here. You will own nothing and be happy. Is a phrase from 2018 predictions for 2030 published by the World Economic Forum. Um, and there's an article here saying a future with no individual ownership is not a happy one. Basically, within there, it says that private property ownership, here we go, private property there, restrictions on ownership of private property. So basically, yeah, you'll own nothing. This is got a Wikipedia page. I don't know how accurate the Wikipedia page is because anyone can make a Wikipedia page. But here's the World Economic Forum. It was said by them at the time. Here it's mentioned again in X.com. I own nothing. I have no privacy in our life. Life has never been better. World Economic Forum, WEFX. So yeah, some of you will have remembered Forbes. It's in Forbes here, where it had to which we own nothing. Forbes magazine. So it was quite a big thing at the time, I thought. But because COVID was going on, it was like a lot of things brushed under the rug, so to speak. But yeah, the World Economic Forum come out and said by 2030 you will own nothing and be happy. And then we look at everything going on in the world and that the cost of living crisis and everything, and all the videos I've made about the economy and the national debt and things like that. And it all, as I said in the national debt one, like where's all this going, and what's the end game of this just ever escalating debts? What's the limit? What one point does somebody say enough's enough, and what happens then? And I think like the answer to my own question is really is this is what happens then. You will own nothing and be happy. So basically, just sort of thinking it through quickly, it sounds to me like the economies are all going to collapse. Money is going to be rendered worthless, and in the light of that happening, the powers that be pretending to be the knights on shining armor to save the world, even though they inflicted this crisis upon us from the very beginning, many moons ago, with the implementation of the economy the way it stands, and sort of like the Federal Reserve of America, I think. And because there's something like there's a conspiracy with to do with the Titanic as well. Like there's a couple of people on the Titanic. But when the Titanic sank, the Federal Reserve Act was put forward and allowed, so to speak, because some of the people who I think one of the Astors was on the Titanic. There was three people, and they are actually all mentioned, I think, in the Titanic film by James Cameron when they're listing the famous people who were on board. I think they are all named, and they were all opposed to the Federal Reserve and the current financial system of money at debt for countries. So, and then the Titanic sank, and the Federal Reserve went ahead because they were on the Titanic and they died. So that's one of the conspiracies around the Titanic sinking. Not so much that it sank on purpose, but three of the people on board were people opposed to the Federal Reserve of America, and because they died, it came into action. So there is something on to do with the Titanic that's bigger than the Titanic in a way. So, truth behind that, I think it's pretty factual. The three people were big people. Like I think one was the Astor, and they were big people. And I think there maybe is a bit of back into that's true. Whether it was a conspiracy to sink the Titanic to kill these people, no idea. I'm not saying that at all. So but there is a lot of conspiracies to do with the Titanic, to be honest. So basically, this monetary system we have kind of feels like it was built to fall, but it was built a long time ago, like over 100 years ago. So this could be like a plan so long in the making. That's why nobody can grasp it because it was done 3 lifetimes ago. Do you know what I mean? And it's just been playing out for 3 lifetimes, and everybody who was alive when this was incepted was is long gone. But the families of the rich people, the bankers, the people who enacted the Federal Reserve, so to speak, they've carried it on to its fruition. It's a long term plan. It's the plan of the ages, not of a lifetime. It's a plan of several lifetimes. So you need to pass down the book, so to speak, to carry it on. And yeah, like this is seems to me it's like the final move of once this economy's crippled itself through debt, then what happens? And by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy, apparently. And the reason you will be happy is because everything will be that bad and money is worth nothing that you are in crisis because you can't pay your bills or buy food. So you are really unhappy at the point of the collapse of the economy. So when they offer you a solution that isn't misery and poverty and starvation, be it you own nothing, but you're alive and well, you will be happy or happier than you were in during the crisis of the collapse of the economy, so to speak. So that's how you can own nothing and be happy, and how you it come around to the point that you are happy after because you were so sad or miserable when the economy collapses and it all goes to bagwash and money's worth nothing and you can't buy anything or we're all poor. It'll be miserable, real miserable. So this is the solution, so to speak, that will make you happy again. And it won't make you happy, but you will be happier than you were during the financial collapse, so to speak. And in effect, the statement is correct. You will own nothing. We will take everything off you. Private property doesn't work anymore. It's like I said in the previous video that sort of like socialism is the only thing that could probably work, and democracy and capitalism doesn't seem to work and doesn't look great on the capitalism side of thing. Sorry, on the communism side of thing, communism and democracy, and yeah, it's like socialism is the only thing that might work, and this kind of looks like it's a socialist system that's been sort of implemented because you will own nothing, so the state will clearly own everything. You will be, in effect, a slave to the state, and if you're a good slave, they'll look after you, and you will be happy because it's a lot better than being in absolute financial ruin, which is what sort of is the last video was about, like what's coming and what's happening. And seems to be what's coming, but it seems to me maybe a planned event, and they've also got a plan for after the event, so to speak. And this is how you bring in a socialist system that where people own nothing, everybody's a slave to the state, and if you don't do as you're told, like get your vaccines or whatever they tell you to do, then they remove whatever they give you access to, and that'll be pretty much everything because you will own nothing. So everything will be rented to you on a if you're a good slave, you can have it kind of basis. And this is now 5 years away apparently. So we're gonna have some big moves made in 5 years if this is to be implemented and done in 5 years. Whether they'll delay it and it just whether Donald Trump's delayed it, so another thing. But is he just a rich man playing us? You know what I mean? He's very rich. Elon Musk is very rich. All these people are very rich. It seems to be the rich club. So I can't always just say that some of these rich people are on our team because when have the rich people ever been on our team? That they got rich through the poor people mostly, so that they're never on our team. They use us when they need to use us. So I always keep one eye open that these rich people could all be playing us. So even Trump, but hopefully not, and hopefully 4 years of Trump can slow down whatever these lots' plans are, and 2030 this won't have happened by then, but doesn't look good.